And the lines are open 011-542-2186. You're welcome to give us a call or join us on social media at ANC7 TV or at I am Cindy Mabi. On the line, we have Botsang Moelwa, political analyst. Botsang, thanks so much for your time and thanks for joining us. What do you make of Gwede Mantashe essentially almost being the kingmaker in both slates based on his institutional wisdom and knowledge?
Good evening, Cindy, and good evening to the ANC7 viewers. I don't think Gwede is a kingmaker. I agree that he may be having an institutional memory, having have served on the top six. But there are two elements why I don't agree with that. First of all, Gwede Mantashe had announced himself that come December 2017, he's retiring from active politics. And we all know that politicians, they tend to say things and do the opposite. But I want to believe him in this instance that he will retire. And I think he should retire. What the ruling party should look at is a mixture of young as well as experienced elders of the organization. So I don't regard Gwede as the kingmaker. This is a story of politics whereby this slate will be reduced to one, indeed. That is my view regarding the ruling party coming elective conference. This slate will be reduced to one. A scenario that was painted last week and that is being engineered by Didi Mabuza. I foresee it as a scenario that will prevail at the end of the conference if the conference takes place. The only challenge that they will be sitting with is that the president vis-a-vis the deputy of the ruling party, and therefore at the moment it's sitting on three front runners, which is Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, as well as Mr. Zweli Mkhize, who shockingly does not appear on both the slates. And let me go back to what I've said 2 weeks back. We should not underestimate a compromise candidate that the ruling party, which is breathing, may settle for. I painted a scenario to say we will see Zweli Mkhize becoming a compromise candidate if the ANC does not reach an agreement regarding Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma and Cyril Ramaphosa. And both of them, they seem to be very determined to run this race until the end, which is a good thing for democracy. It's very good for democracy. But the ANC has talked about unity. The ANC has talked about slates being pushed by people from outside. It is not a party policy position, and I think it will do them best if they come with a leadership that is going to drive what they've been talking about forward, the radical economic transformation, the question of the land, the question of free education. And that is the only thing that is going to make the ANC unify and continue to rule the country after 2019. And that's my view.
All right, I just want to pick up on your train of thought around the process of elimination, that ultimately we're likely to see a one-horse candidate, so to speak. And if you were to shed off those that may feel they don't have the necessary majority support and end up going in a particular slate, interestingly enough, we're told by highly placed sources that Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini's lobbyists are going outside her support bloc or traditional supporters bloc. What do you make of that?
Well, that's information from the sources. But I think what is going to happen, Cindy, is the eliminations will come naturally from those who were contesting. I've said before, let us not focus on the top two people only because there is top six or top nine or even top 10. But what is going to happen, you can see now that Lindiwe Sisulu, I've said from day one, come November 2017, Lindiwe Sisulu will throw her weight behind Cyril Ramaphosa. I've long predicted that. So it will eliminate her from running for the presidency, but at least for the deputy president, if Cyril Ramaphosa prevails. But the support base of the ANC is based on mainly branches and then rural areas. Gauteng, we know it has an influence, but does not have the number. Paul Mashatile will make it to the top six because Gauteng has resolved on that and he's young, he's bringing a young new flavor. But the so-called, what you call it, the Premier League, they positioned themselves in a manner and rallied behind Nkosazana Zuma. You see the slate of KwaZulu-Natal, it has a powerful Didi Mabuza, it has a powerful Ace Magashule, who are coming from very powerful provinces. They are powerful as persons, and they come from very powerful provinces of the ANC amid the challenges the organization is facing. Then you still have Paul Mashatile and the so-called institutional memory stalwart, which I don't think he will make it to the top six. I don't think the ANC needs to go on the top six, especially on such a critical position. But the beauty of it, both slates and KwaZulu State especially, is that the balance of women in there, both of them, they've got women, they've got Lindy Side, they've got Desi Duarte, and then they've got another lady in. So the ANC hasn't done well so far regarding the 50 or 52% when it comes to women, but they are in the right direction. I predict that we'll come to a single slate whereby the ANC will go and compromise and reduce it to one contestant on the deputy president and the presidency. And the rest is very simple. It's very simple to deal with the other six. And that will save the organization. You know, I'm not looking at elections and who's the winner. I'm looking at the organization being a winner as a whole. And I don't think Nkosazana Zuma is going to back down on this. She has indicated last week to say you don't enter a battle or a race to drop in the middle of the battle. You fight the battle or you run the race to the end, win or lose. And knowing her very well, she's not going to drop out of this race. That is not going to happen.
Yeah, but it's also similarly the same sentiment with all the other contenders, that they're in it to win it. We saw Jeff Radebe himself saying like he's honored to have been nominated by the branches, and he'll certainly avail himself to be the next president in line. I just want to take you back a little bit on the issue of the Women's League and the nomination of, what do we have, three top ladies now running for the presidential position. Is that indicative of a democratic internal political system, or is this more about divisions as to the number of slates that have emerged?
Look, it's both, Cindy. One, the Women's League has taken a position to rally behind which woman in the organization, and I would have expected disciplined leaders or members of the Women's League to rally behind a common person that was elected, but also, or that was, chosen to run the race. But also, it is within their democratic rights as individuals to say the branches want me, and therefore I will stand. What they should have done if the situation was normal, if the democracy was prevailing correctly within the ANC, what they should have done, those leaders from the Women's League, and I want us to focus on the Women's League only, they should have said to those branches or the constituencies that nominated them to say, no, I'm a disciplined member of the ANC Women's League. I therefore cannot go outside the decision of the majority and the collective of the Women's League. I will not stand because I abide by the decisions of the Women's League. That's what they should have done under normal circumstances. But the situation is abnormal in the ruling party and its leagues. We have seen the Youth League nominating people on slates that are outside the youth age, even just above the youth. That's an abnormality in the organization. And that's why you find individuals thinking as individuals and not as a collective like we've been made to believe for all these years, and say, Noma Kanjani, I will stand, the people want me. That term has become fashionable, that the people want me. But we know, if we look at numbers, ANC politics are number-based. If we look at numbers, everybody else, except the people that I say numbers will push them. One is in Nkosazana and Zuma. Two is Eliminations, and three is Ramaphosa, in that order when we look at numbers. And the only reason Cyril Ramaphosa makes it with numbers is because of the people who are pushing the rhetoric that the deputy president must succeed the president. But when you look at his base of support, like Gauteng and some areas of Limpopo and so forth, it's not that solid. Even the Northern Cape, it's not that solid. It's not enough people. He's trying to make inroads in KwaZulu-Natal. With Zweli Mkhize standing up, I don't think he will make it. And I've always said anybody who is going to win the ANC elective conference and come out as a leader will have to have Mpumalanga and Didi Mabuza in their back.
All right, it seems like while the rest of us are speculating, Botsang, you have a crystal ball and have this down to a science, but we're going to have to leave it there for the moment. Thanks indeed for joining us. That's Botsang Moilwat speaking to us about the latest ANC slates that have emerged, indicating that certain members, in particular Paul Mashatile, ANC chair, featuring on both the list of Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma and also Cyril Ramaphosa, commonly known as CR17, and the list for NDZ featuring the so-called Premier League, David Maboza Ace Magashule, Secretary General. Again, it is speculative, but it does come from highly regarded sources. Zweli Mkhize and Maite Nkwane Mashabane as Treasurer General in the NDZ 17 slate. Well, something that we'll be watching very closely, and don't forget at 7:30 the repeat of ANC Decides.